Welcome back to the show, everyone. Today we're sinking our teeth into the freshly released audited financial results for ITC Hotels Limited. This is a particularly interesting one, especially given its recent demerger from the parent ITC Limited.
Absolutely. ITC Hotels, a well-known name in the Indian hospitality sector, has now embarked on its journey as a separately listed entity. The results cover the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. The Board of Directors approved these results in their meeting on May 15, 2025. We'll be looking at both the standalone and consolidated figures today.
Great. So let's start with the headline numbers. How did ITC Hotels perform in terms of revenue for the fourth quarter of FY25? Let's begin with the standalone results.
Alright, on a standalone basis, for the quarter ended March 31, 2025, ITC Hotels reported revenue from operations of 981.49 crore rupees. This is a solid increase compared to the 867.96 crore rupees in the same quarter last year, Q4 FY24. That's a year-over-year growth of about 13.08%.
That's a healthy YoY jump. Now, how does that Q4 FY25 revenue look when compared to the preceding quarter, Q3 FY25?
Sequentially comparing Q4 FY25 to Q3 FY25, where revenue from operations was 938.70 crore rupees, there's also good growth. It's up by about 4.56% quarter over quarter. So strong on both YoY and QoQ fronts for standalone revenue.
Excellent. Let's switch to the consolidated picture for revenue from operations for Q4 FY25. How does that compare YoY and QoQ?
On a consolidated basis, revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 stood at 1060.62 crore rupees. Comparing this to Q4 FY24's figure of 907.31 crore rupees, it's a significant year-over-year increase of 16.9%.
And the sequential consolidated revenue growth from Q3 FY25?
Consolidated revenue from operations in Q3 FY25 was 1015.40 crore rupees. So the quarter-over-quarter growth for Q4 FY25 is around 4.45%. Similar to standalone, positive momentum both YoY and QoQ for consolidated revenue.
Good to see that consistency. Now let's move to profitability. Can you give us the EBITDA figures? Or if not directly available, the profit before tax, PBT, along with its components like finance costs and depreciation? Let's start with standalone Q4.
Right, EBITDA isn't directly stated, but we can look at PBT and work towards an approximation. For standalone Q4 FY25, profit before tax PBT was 354.95 crore rupees. This is a substantial jump from the 245.21 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, marking a year-over-year growth of about 44.75%. To get an idea of EBITDA, for standalone Q4 FY25, PBT was 354.95 crore. Finance costs were 2.82 crore and depreciation was 72.22 crore. This gives us an operating profit before these items of roughly 429.99 crore rupees. In Q4 FY24, the PBT was 245.21 crore, finance costs 2.83 crore and depreciation 73.63 crore, leading to a comparable figure of about 321.67 crore rupees.
A very strong YoY growth in standalone PBT and the derived operating profit. What about the quarter-over-quarter standalone PBT performance for Q4 FY25?
Sequentially, standalone PBT in Q3 FY25 was 303.73 crore rupees. So, Q4 FY25's PBT of 354.95 crore rupees represents a quarter-over-quarter growth of about 16.86%. This is excellent sequential profit growth. The derived operating profit figure for Q3 FY25 was around 381.24 crore rupees, also showing a good sequential rise.
That's impressive. Now let's look at the consolidated PBT for Q4 FY25, both YoY and QoQ.
For consolidated Q4 FY25, the profit before tax, after share of profit from associates and joint ventures, was 353.52 crore rupees. This is up significantly from 247.90 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, a YoY increase of about 42.6%. The derived consolidated EBITDA for Q4 FY25 would be PBT of 353.52 crore plus finance costs of 1.68 crore and depreciation of 99.80 crore, totaling around 455.00 crore rupees. This compares to Q4 FY24's PBT of 247.90 crore, finance costs of 1.87 crore, and depreciation of 75.90 crore, making a comparable figure of about 325.67 crore rupees.
And the sequential consolidated PBT growth for Q4?
Consolidated PBT in Q3 FY25 was 293.98 crore rupees. So the Q4 FY25 PBT of 353.52 crore rupees shows a strong quarter-over-quarter growth of 20.25%. The derived operating profit for Q3 FY25 was about 399.58 crore rupees, again indicating healthy sequential growth.
Fantastic profit growth across the board for Q4. Let's drill down to profit after tax PAT standalone first for Q4 FY25.
Standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 was 264.05 crore rupees. This is a significant rise from 183.66 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, a YoY growth of 43.77%. Sequentially, compared to Q3 FY25 standalone PAT of 227.87 crore rupees, the Q4 PAT shows a growth of 15.88%.
And the consolidated PAT attributable to owners for Q4 FY25?
Consolidated PAT attributable to owners for Q4 FY25 stood at 256.90 crore rupees. This is up from 182.48 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, a YoY growth of 40.78%. Quarter over quarter, compared to Q3 FY25's consolidated PAT of 214.97 crore rupees, it's a growth of 19.50%.
Wonderful. How does this translate into earnings per share EPS for Q4, standalone and consolidated?
For standalone Q4 FY25, the basic EPS was 1.27 rupees, up from 0.88 rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, it's up from 1.09 rupees in Q3 FY25. On a consolidated basis for Q4 FY25, basic EPS was 1.23 rupees compared to 0.88 rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, this is up from 1.03 rupees in Q3 FY25.
Okay, before we move to the full year, was there any significant other income component in Q4 that we should be aware of?
Yes, other income was quite noticeable. For standalone Q4 FY25, it was 35.37 crore rupees, a substantial increase from 2.88 crore rupees in Q4 FY24 and also up from 11.23 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. Similarly, for consolidated Q4 FY25, other income was 38.19 crore rupees compared to a negative 0.19 crore rupees in Q4 FY24 and up from 15.46 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. This component definitely contributed to the overall profit picture.
That's a key detail. Now let's briefly touch upon the full financial year FY25 performance. Given that the comparative FY24 figures are for the period from July 28, 2023 to March 31, 2024 due to the demerger timing, a direct percentage comparison might be a bit skewed, but let's look at the absolute numbers.
Exactly. For standalone FY25 12 months, revenue from operations was 3,279.27 crore rupees and PAT was 698.41 crore rupees with a basic EPS of 3.36 rupees. This compares to the FY24 approx 8 months figures of revenue at 2,124.24 crore, PAT at 403.99 crore and EPS at 1.94 rupees. For consolidated FY25 12 months, revenue from operations was 3,559.81 crore rupees and PAT attributable to owners was 634.57 crore rupees with a basic EPS of 3.05 rupees. This compares to FY24 approx. 8 months. Revenue of 2,224.40 crore, PAT of 421.72 crore, and EPS of 2.03 rupees. So clearly, a full year of operations in FY25 shows much higher numbers than the part period of FY24.
Good overview. Now looking at profitability margins, what can we infer from these Q4 numbers?
For Q4 FY25, the standalone net profit margin, PAT, divided by revenue from operations was about 26.90%, up from 21.16% in Q4 FY24. On the consolidated side, the net profit margin for Q4 FY25 was around 24.22%, also up from 20.11% in Q4 FY24. So margin improvement is evident on both fronts.
Were there any exceptional items reported in these results, either standalone or consolidated?
No, there were no exceptional items reported in either the standalone or consolidated results for the quarter or the year ended March 31, 2025. This suggests the profits are from regular operations.
Let's glance at the balance sheet. Any key changes or highlights, especially considering the demerger?
The most significant change is in equity share capital. On a standalone basis, it increased from 83 crore rupees as of March 2024 to 208.12 crore rupees as of March 2025. This is primarily due to the allotment of 125.11 crore equity shares as part of the demerger scheme with ITC Limited, effective January 1, 2025. Other equity has also seen a substantial increase. The consolidated balance sheet reflects similar changes in equity.
What about cash flows? Any highlights from the FY25 statements?
For standalone FY25, net cash from operating activities was strong at 929.70 crore rupees. Net cash used in investing activities was significant at 2,334.53 crore rupees, indicating investments. Net cash from financing activities was positive at 1,424.96 crore rupees. A major item here is an adjustment pursuant to the scheme of 1,436.61 crore rupees, which likely represents net assets transferred during the demerger. Closing cash and cash equivalents stood at 22.69 crore rupees. The consolidated cash flow statement shows a similar pattern, with net cash from operating activities at 803.45 crore rupees and the same adjustment pursuant to the scheme in financing activities. Consolidated closing cash and cash equivalents were 76.71 crore rupees. No dividends were mentioned as declared in this particular board meeting outcome.
That demerger adjustment is a big one. Now let's dive into segment performance. This would be from the consolidated results, right?
Correct. ITC Hotels reports three main segments on a consolidated basis: hotels, real estate, and others. For Q4 FY25, the hotel segment is the star, with revenue of 1,042.81 crore rupees and profit before interest and tax (PBIT) of 313.03 crore rupees. The real estate segment had negligible revenue for the quarter, as revenue is recognized on completion of sale for their Colombo project, and reported a PBIT loss of 2.17 crore rupees. The other segment chipped in with revenue of 11.62 crore rupees and a PBIT of 1.10 crore rupees. For the full year FY25, hotel segment revenue was 3,491.95 crore rupees with the PBIT of 802.66 crore rupees. Real estate again had negligible revenue and a PBIT loss of 3.92 crore rupees. Other segment revenue was 41.45 crore rupees with the PBIT of 12.77 crore rupees. It's clear the hotel segment is the primary revenue and profit driver for the group. The note on the real estate segment clarifies they are constructing super premium branded residences in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and revenue will be recognized upon completion of sale, which explains the current financial reporting for that segment.
That clarifies the real estate segment. So to summarize the performance, strong YoY and QoQ growth in Q4, what significant events or notes from the report should investors be aware of, apart from the demerger itself?
Besides the demerger details we discussed, like the scheme approval, effective date of January 1, 2025, share allotment, and listing on January 29, 2025, there are a few other points. The company has approved capital expenditure of approximately 328 crore rupees for the construction of a new hotel in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. This hotel will have around 200 keys and is expected to be completed by 2029, funded through internal accruals. Currently, ITC Hotels manages 2 hotels there but doesn't own any. The second annual general meeting is scheduled for August 11, 2025. Also, Messrs. S.N. Ananthasubramanian and Company have been recommended for appointment as secretarial auditors for 5 years, commencing FY25-26. The standalone entity operates only in one segment, hotel services.
Now, a critical part, the auditor's report. What did S.R. Batley and Company, LLP have to say about the standalone and consolidated financials? Any qualifications or emphasis of matter?
For both the standalone and consolidated financial results, the auditors, S.R. Batley and Company, LLP, have issued an unmodified opinion. This means they believe the financial statements give a true and fair view and are in accordance with the accounting standards. This is a positive.
That's good news. Any other matter paragraphs we should note?
In the standalone auditor's report, under Other Matter, they state that the Q4 results are balancing figures between the audited full-year figures and the 9-month figures ended December 31st, 2024. Importantly, these 9-month figures were extracted from the books of account underlying the financial results of ITC Limited and were subject to limited review by the auditors of ITC Limited. This is standard procedure post-demerger. In the Consolidated Auditor's Report, there's a similar Other Matter paragraph regarding the Q4 balancing figures. Additionally, it states that their opinion is based on their audit and for certain subsidiaries, associates, and joint ventures on the reports of other auditors. They quantify this. 4 subsidiaries audited by others had total assets of about 3,738 crore rupees and revenues of about 75 crore for Q4. 2 associates and 1 joint venture's share of net profit was 4.52 crore rupees for Q4, based on other auditors' reports. 1 subsidiary is located outside India and its financials prepared under its local GAAP were audited by another auditor. S.R. Batley audited the conversion adjustments to Ind AS. Again, this reliance on other auditors for components of consolidated financials is a standard practice. The auditors confirm their opinion is not modified in respect of these matters.
So, clean opinions from the auditors, with standard disclosures regarding the demerger, transition and consolidation process. Based on all this, what's the outlook for ITC Hotels?
The outlook appears positive, especially considering the strong Q4 performance and the clean auditor reports. The hotel segment is performing very robustly. The demerger allows ITC Hotels to have a more focused strategy for the hospitality business. The new capex in Visakhapatnam signals expansion. Key drivers will be continued recovery and growth in travel and tourism, operational efficiencies, and successful execution of their expansion plans. Risks could include economic downturns affecting travel, increased competition, and execution risks related to new projects. As always, we advise investors to check with certified experts before making any investment decisions.
Excellent analysis. So to wrap up, ITC Hotels has reported a strong set of numbers for Q4 and FY25, with significant growth in revenue and profitability, both YoY and QoQ for the quarter. The demerger is now complete, setting a new course for the company. The core hotel segment is driving performance, and the auditors have given clean chits to the financials.
That's a fair summary. The company seems to be on a solid footing as an independent entity, with clear growth drivers and expansion plans. The market will be watching its performance closely in the coming quarters.
Thanks for breaking that all down for us. And for our listeners, that's all the time we have for today. Don't forget to subscribe for more financial insights. We'll catch you on the next one.